Bop, bop, bop. Okay, we're coming back. We're coming back. I'm getting it back. Don't worries. Na, 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 na. Alrighty. So we're coming back. It was an accident. Boo doo boo. What up? What up? 14 strong, my friend.
About that. Literally, as soon as my finger didn't even hit it yet, it was like about to hit it, and I was like, "Oh shit! Sorry, you guys."
Yeah, you have to hit the back button.
Yes, I know that. I didn't even fucking hit end yet. I was like about to, and then I felt my finger going to tap it. Didn't you hear me say, "Oh shit, I'm sorry"? Because I heard you say, "Oh my goodness."
Oh my goodness.
I know better.
That's what I like. That's my favorite water. Oh man.
This is up there with the smart water for real.
That's funny.
What is it?
So Jody got an A+ yesterday, and she got a D- today.
I noticed as I was doing it, I was like, "Oh damn it!"
She
Like
literally said, "Oh shit, I just ended the broadcast."
Yep. Everybody's laughing about it.
my finger was in the middle of like it literally like I couldn't stop my finger. It was already hitting in. That's funny.
Oh, how do I get them back? Squirrel says, "Hi, the boys." Bodie says, "Jody."
I can't be perfect every day, you guys. Ew, there's some gnarly ass spiders up here.
Sativa J says, "We'll have to find some of those hidden food gems up there when I come back up. I'm all about good food and getting ripped. Hell yeah. That's what 100% what we're about to.
Getting ripped?
Yeah. And good food.
Getting ripped as in smoking weed.
She said mid-sentence, just like friggin' Insta does masshole. She swiped left. Yeah, she accidentally touched that end button.
I have too much power now. I'm not used to it.
Like, no, Jimmy, no. Johnny Noodle King has some good ramen. I don't know if I've been there. Is it in Ann Arbor? If it's been in Ann Arbor, I think I have had it.
I've heard good things about that place. I do love some ramen, but like my guilty pleasure is some basic ass cheap ramen.
That's just sodium and a half.
Josh says it. Noodle King is in Detroit. Sativa says she's just working away in that yard. Yeah, double tasking, multitasking. That's how
working away in the yard, ending broadcast and shit. Like, what the fuck?
I'm fucking dripping out here. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sativa J says jail made me hate ramen.
I don't know what it is. Like, I love cooking and I like usually eat like really good food or healthy food. But when it comes like, I don't care if it's the cup of ramen, like the little cheap styrofoam cup, or if it's the square cheap orange chicken flavored. What is it called? Like the Manchurian ones or whatever?
Yeah, Munch-On or whatever. Want me to do Kegels with my butthole?
You said Munch-On. This is the Earth Dweller of the day.
Earth Dweller of the day.
This is the 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 Earth Dweller of the day. See what's walking on this earth.
Okay.
What is the Earth Dweller of the day? What?
Squirrel
This
says
is the
Sativa J is laughing. Josh says he's gonna check out Mom's spaghetti later. Squirrel says
Branco, DMAC approved.
Go ahead.
This is the Andean
Cock
cock
of
of the rock, and this is a real fucking name.
That's the real
There
name
is
of this bird. Yep.
There's 4 subspecies of these. They all live in rainforests. In Peru is where they're mostly at. They're a cock on the rock. They're very territorial. They're very colorful, vibrant. They have those big fat crests on their head.
So I won't pop Molly, but his bitch will.
Yeah, she probably will.
You were supposed to say she do.
She do though. What it does is the cock of the rock will find a place on the forest floor, and he'll be very territorial over it, and he'll clean it up, and that's where he'll do his mating dance, like T-Rub did, to find a wife.
They usually are in foresty areas about 500 to 2,400 meters up in elevation.
Yep.
It eats fruit and insects. It will eat frogs and reptiles if there's
actually, Josh, hold on. It's actually a large bird, but it is one of the best seed dispersers in the rainforest because it eats all these fruits. They find their nest all the time with fruit, actual fruit plants growing out of the nest. So they're very good. Like they'll take a seed from the one part of the fucking rainforest and bring it to the other side and introduce this fruit to the whole other side of the rainforest. So they disperse it everywhere. They're very, very beneficial for the rainforest.
It says it tends to forage for food on its own, but you can find it in groups of up to 3 at times. Mostly it's by itself.
A couple cool things about this, a couple cool things about the predators of it, is mostly their predators are aerial, like the harpy eagle, the black eagle, and it's called a jungle falcon. It's pretty cool, and it hunts birds in the jungle where it's real hard to fly through and navigate. Also a jaguar, or if it's on the ground, like the males go on the ground to do their mating dance. Jaguars, because it's a bigger bird, jaguars eat it. Anything on the ground that wants to eat that motherfucker is going to eat it.
These 2 on the left, they are males, and the one on the right is a female.
Yeah, the males have the big crest. This is actually the smallest crest of the cock of the rock family.
Who made that name up? I know, that's what I was thinking. That's the name and how pretty it is the only reason why I picked it.
They said it's called like a cock on the rock because usually the space where it clears out, it tries to get a rock in the middle, and that's where it stands on, and it's really territorial. So if something comes in its territory, it's gonna fight it. So it's just a cocky motherfucker, you know.
It says the males devote a lot of energy to attract the females.
Yep.
Here they display their plumage and compete with other males in duels.
That's literally how like the animal kingdom is, or how it used to be back in the day. Is like men were the one that like dressed up or wore like glamorous outfits or tried to like do the dances to impress the women.
It says they'll jump, flap their wings, noisy squawking, and bill snapping. As the female approaches, these activities intensify. It says the males are polygamous and are not involved with building the nests or raising the kids.
That's a male.
The nests are made from mud and vegetation bound together with their saliva. They usually lay 2 eggs in the nest at a time. They incubate for about 28 days.
That's pretty quick.
So they've got predators, like you said, the birds of prey, jaguars, pumas, ocelots, and boa constrictors.
Yeah, but the boa constrictors get it a lot more because they live in the trees, you know?
Yup. Sure do. So there's
It didn't-
that.
It told me it was a big bird, but it didn't tell me how big it was. I could have divulged probably a little bit more, but
All right, I'm gonna get to this spotlight now. Here we go to the spotlight. It's Joe Rogan and his friend.
Two ways everyone listening to your show has two kinds of motivation in their life, right? We're all a mixture of both. So imagine if you play the piano in the morning because you love playing the piano, it gives you joy, right? That would be what's called an intrinsic reason to play the piano, right? You're not doing it to get anything out of it. That's the thing you love, right? It sounds like jiu-jitsu was like that for you. Writing is like that for me. Everyone will have something in their life that just gives them joy as they do it, right? Okay, now imagine you played the piano, not because you love it, but because your parents are massively pressuring you, it's their dream for you. Or in a dive bar that you can't stand to pay the rent, or to impress a woman, right? That would be what's called an extrinsic reason to play the piano, right? You're not doing it because that thing gives you joy. You're doing it to get something further down the line, right? Now, obviously, we're all a mixture of both. But Professor Kasser showed a couple of really interesting things. Firstly, the more you are driven by extrinsic values, the more your intrinsic values are starved, the more likely you are to become depressed and anxious by quite a significant amount. He also showed, as a culture, as a society, we have become much more driven by these junk values, right? We've become much more driven by, think about how Instagram makes you feel,
Sure.
right? We've become much more driven by this hollow external sense of, think about something as simple as, a little while ago, I was at Elton John's last night in Caesar's Palace, right? Amazing thing to be at. And about half the fucking room is filming it isn't even looking at Elton John. They're just watching it through their phone. Now that's a small example, but you can see what they're doing. In order to display their life, to invite envy from other people, they are not living their life. No one wants to watch your shitty video about Elton John. There's thousands of videos about Elton John that are much better than yours, right? Why are you doing that? You're never going to watch it either. You're doing it to say to other people, envy me, right? It doesn't make you feel good in that room. Actually makes you feel worse. You're not enjoying the experience,
Right.
and it makes them feel like shit because you're trying to invite envy in your friends. That's a small example of a much wider thing, of a kind of junk values that have taken our minds. Professor Kasser has shown there's two sets of solutions to these junk values taking over our minds. One is, it's like fucking air pollution. Get the messaging out of your head. More 18-month-old children know what the McDonald's M means than know their own surname, their own last name. Right? From the moment, Professor Kasser put it to me, from the moment we're born, we're immersed in a machine that is designed to get us to neglect what is important about life, right? None of your listeners will lie on their deathbeds and think about all the shit they bought and all the likes they got on Instagram. They'll think about moments of meaning and connection. That's like a banal, obvious thing. But we're constantly pushed to not think in those terms, to think about show it off, buy, spend, right? These junk values have taken over our minds. So part of the solution is just fucking get rid of most of this advertising. Well, this is the second part. And you've gone to what I think was the most important part of the research Professor Kasser did. So he was working with a guy called Nathan Dungan. Nathan is a financial advisor in Minneapolis. And his job was to work with adults who were having trouble budgeting and explain budgeting to them and help them do it, right? And he gets a call from a school. It was a kind of middle-class school. It wasn't super rich, wasn't poor. It was a middle class where they're having a problem. That the kids at this school were becoming obsessed with getting like the latest Nike sneakers or the latest iPhone or whatever it was. And if their parents couldn't afford it, the kids were really freaking out, right? So they say to Nathan, would you come in and just explain budgeting to these kids, right? So Nathan goes in, he tries to explain budgeting and quickly realizes these kids don't give a shit about budgeting, right? There's something else going on here. They are so obsessed with getting these things. So with Professor Kasser, he designs this program that led to a really interesting breakthrough. It's something people can try at home, right? You don't have to do it in this context. So they got, and you can do it just as adults, but they did it with parents and their teenagers, right? They come in, it was once every couple of weeks for, I think, 4 months. And at first they just say, the first meeting they had, they just said, write a list of everything you have got to have. They didn't define that, right? And people, of course, say like a home, a car, whatever. But quite quickly, people would say Nike sneakers. The parents would name expensive things. And they go, okay, tell me how you would feel if you got these Nike sneakers, right? And very rarely, I don't think any of them were like basketball players where it was like, I need the jump or whatever. if that's the right phrase. It was very often I would be almost immediately I'd be accepted by the group. People would envy me, right?
Yeah.
These insights are just beneath the surface, right? They go, who put that idea in your head? Where did you get that idea? And of course, everyone thinks they're smarter than the ad, but giving people the ability just to see how hollow those junk values were, that was the first part. Second part was much more interesting and took longer. Then they would have in future sessions, they'd say, well, okay, given that's not actually made you feel better, what are moments in your life when you have felt satisfied, happy, in a flow state? What are things that are meaningful to you? People, a whole range of things, playing sports, playing music, reading, whatever it was, right? And they say, okay, how could we build more of that into your life and less of these junk values? How could you do more of this every week? And just meeting, we don't have these conversations in our culture very often, just meeting once every couple of weeks and checking in with each other and going, actually, I managed to play guitar for an hour every day.
Dude, I got a lot to say about that. It actually, the synchronicity wave runs deep on that one. I told somebody I was going to Vegas to get married, and they're like, oh my God, take a lot of pictures. And I kind of sat there and I was like, that's weird, but I go on a lot of trips and I don't take pictures. And they're like, why? I'm like, because when that phone's in front of my face, I don't take it in like I'm not trying to fucking take a picture of it. I'm trying to fucking.
That's why I don't bring my phone into concerts.
Yeah.
That's why I don't take pictures with celebrities. Those are the reasons why I do these things.
They said take pictures. I said
if I do record something like that, it's just quick. Okay, this is what I wanted, pictures, and then back to the moment again.
They said take pictures and shit. Jessica took 1, 2, 3 pictures that night without the. I hired a picture guy and a fucking video guy for a reason, because I know I'm not gonna take pictures because I'm living in that moment.
Yep. Absolutely.
I want that moment. I don't give a fuck about a picture.
And that's why I said also, we would go live, but only for the wedding. Once the wedding was over, I'm going to be back to the moment.
Yeah, we're trying to party, and yeah, that was, and the live was perfect. The live was just that moment, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know.
Instagrammers who are like foodies, right? A lot of people I read either cook the food or go and order that food just to take a picture and post it, and then they don't even eat it.
Yep.
That's kind of weird.
That's so weird, but they do it for the likes and, people. There's an episode of Black Mirror, okay? And it's all about how you walk around and it's like your Facebook status. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, and it shows how many likes and how many friends and shit you have. But you have to have this status to even be able to get into clubs and shit. And this one girl literally becomes so obsessed with seeing how many likes she gets, and if her status goes up, and she goes fucking crazy. It's really good.
Right here, he says pics can catch that moment to remember it years down, and then yep. A couple quick pics and phone gets put away. And like I said, a lot of the times, I won't even bring my phone into a concert.
That's smart, because you could fucking lose it.
I knew that the wedding was one of the biggest days of my life, so I hired somebody to do that for me.
As you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
And
so it doesn't take moments away from you.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing I did. I stood there in front of the strip of Vegas, and I fucking spread my wings, and I was like, I just got married, and fucking people I didn't know, thousands of people that I didn't know, just were like, yeah, and I was so happy, and a couple minutes after that, I was like, hey, I told Chris, I was like, did you get that? And he's like, yeah. I was like, that would be cool, but in that moment, I wasn't worrying if somebody got that.
Exactly, because you weren't worried about it. Was for you, not for everyone else.
Yep.
And like it said, it was to fill that, what they say, intrinsic or whatever. It's to fill that, not to fill your exterior.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel envious of me. And
Dude, you looked like literally, you looked like so fucking just like so genuinely and like purely happy and in your element, dude. It was really cool to see. And then when you did spread your wings, like,
You
it looked amazing.
Jody,
You should have been there to see the looks and everybody. He had people turning their heads the whole way through that fucking
I
building.
wear muumuus here in Monroe, and I get weird looks, and they're like, "What?" These people weird looked at me first, but then were like, "I see what this guy's doing," and I would just flap my wings to him, walking by him in the casino, and just and look at him, and I was so fucking happy. Nobody thought it was weird. They were like, "Oh, this is normal in Vegas," and I was like, "Dude, this is nobody thinks this is weird."
Well, he had families turning around to shoot video of him. He had some people come up to him taking pictures with him. It was pretty cool to see.
It does make you realize, though, like going to, because you do get the small town mentality when you live in a small town. So going to like Detroit, Ann Arbor, Vegas, things like that, where you're like, whoa, it's not weird because people don't give a fuck if it's weird. They just are who they are.
Yep. That's
That's
fact.
the hardest thing
Some
here.
old man, coolest part of my night, some old man sitting at the bar just chilling. And I walked by him and he looked at me and he looked me up and down. He was like, "Dude, that's cool." And he fucking fist bumped me on the way by. And I told him I was getting married and he was like, "Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you." And I was just like, "That's it. That's all I needed."
And
Dude
then he went to
accepted
his,
me for
then he went into his mating ritual.
Yep. I did.
But like that's what I kind of love about like getting on here with you guys. We do this, for our friends that are on here, but for us too. And we're not doing it to see how many viewers we get or how many likes we get. We're just, and look how many people showed up to watch your wedding.
Yep.
Yeah. I was blown away how many people were in there.
Dude, not only that, but in Vegas, everybody that was around that and could see the gazebo, they came up and videotaped it because I come out walking down the aisle dancing, flipping wings around and fucking hooting and hollering and everybody was like, "Dude, you didn't see the crowd of people around you? They all had their cameras on you." I was like, "That's it, baby. That's what I want."
Yeah. That being said, it is for real time to go this time.
Yeah, Jody, don't fucking end it too early. I love you guys.
All right. Love you all. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you in the morning.
Thanks for all the love.
Brought to you by Brain Jerk. Fuck yeah.
I'm with my people, man. I'm with the gang.